Hello friends, in today's video I'm starting the long-awaited clean and decorate of my middle son's room. In this first video we're giving it a deep clean since most of this cleaning hasn't been done since we moved into this house over a year ago. We're getting the fan cleaned, the window screens scrubbed, his bed vacuumed out, his carpet scrubbed, walls spackled and sanded, and finally ending the video with painting 3 of his walls. So pop my video on your TV, tablet, or phone and clean along with me, or sit back and relax with your favorite drink and stockpile this cleaning motivation for future use. Hope you enjoy! Don't forget to like my video, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and click that bell notification for more inspiring motivational videos. Let's be friends on Instagram too. You can find me at Home with Elizabeth. Happy Monday, friends. So the beginning of the video there for my intro, I was just showing you kind of a before of his room. It wasn't a true before because he'd already emptied most of it out, but you kind of saw the cobwebs and the dust and the dirt and the little bit of clutter in his closet. So just kind of a where we're starting at. So I just got his shears down and I took them downstairs and put them in the washer to wash, and now I've popped off these screens that are in his windows, and we have never cleaned these screens. In fact, I didn't even think they needed cleaned since they're indoor screens until I actually scrubbed this one, and I was horrified with the amount of dirt that came off of this screen. And these are from windows that you've seen my windows open, friends. They don't even open that far. So yeah, a lot of dirt came off these screens, and you can't really see it on the brush, but you can kind of see how dingy it's looking. But as soon as I start rinsing these, I'm going to point you towards the drain in my shower, and you're going to see the dirt. And this makes me want to take all my screens down and scrub them. And of course, I only show you doing one, but I do both screens. I really try not to make these videos like super long because they could be so long. So I generally just show portions of everything I do, not the whole entire job. So now we are back in this room, and of course, when we moved into this house, all these windows had blinds, and I am not a fan of blinds. I hate cleaning them. I hate like dealing with them because the kids break them and they're just so rough on them. But when we moved in, I just never took down any of the old brackets and stuff like that. So that's what we're just doing now in his room. He had some metal brackets take down and these old plastic ones. They were so brittle. If you just saw right there, I just put my screwdriver in the one hole and busted it so that I could get to the screws. They were yellowed with age, so it was just nice to get them out. And of course, I showed you in the intro those little cobwebs that were in his window there. So we are just using my Dyson with the brush nozzle on it to get all this stuff up. And now these are the old original windows to this house. Our house is kind of half and half. Half of it has new windows and half of it has still the old ones here. I'm not sure when we'll get to replacing them, but eventually they will be replaced. Until then, I just try and keep them clean. As you can see here, like the holes where the locking mechanism go in, they're filled with dirt and debris, and I still really couldn't get the window closed. I didn't have enough strength to pull it and lock it. So I eventually did have my husband do it when he got home. Alright, while I finish closing these windows, and I'm going to get my Pledge multi-surface cleaner and wash them, I'm going to introduce myself. Hi, my name's Elizabeth. I'm a 51-year-old wife and stay-at-home mom to 7 adult/teenage children. I have 2 girls that live outside the home. They are 27 and 23. I have 3 boys that live inside the home. They're 20, 17, and 15. I also have 2 bonus boys. They're 16-year-old twins. They're my nephews that I got custody of a few years ago. On my channel, you're going to find cleaning motivation, cleaning inspiration, a little bit of organization, decluttering, and decorating. But what you're going to find lots and lots of is real life. I like to keep it very real here on my channel and share my perfectly imperfect life with you all. I strive to help others not feel so alone in this world and to help them realize that the best way to live life is their most perfectly imperfect self also. If this sounds like content that you would enjoy watching, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I'd love to have you join my community. All right, friends, so what I just did there after I cleaned the windows is he had some LED lights on his upper walls there. I just pulled them down because some of the furniture we bought for his room has LED lights on it. So I thought we're going to take them down and we just won't put them back up. And then of course I cleaned his very dusty fan. It needed it so bad. I can't tell you even if I cleaned it since we moved in here. I don't think I have. And so now we are just taking some of his posters off the wall and we are going to get these walls scrubbed. And all I'm using, I know I didn't show you filling it up, but I just have my cedar mop and bucket with hot water and like a half a teaspoon of powder Tide in it. And I'm only painting 3 walls today, and in fact I'm not even painting the 4th wall. We're putting shiplap on it, but I do end up washing that 4th wall just because I didn't want to cover like dirt or anything like that up. So I did wash the wall even though I'm not doing anything with it like that's going to show. And of course short little Elizabeth couldn't get that last 3M picture hanger off, so I had to call a tall one in to get it for me. This middle room here was the first room when we moved in that we did all of the 3-prong outlets. Our house was very like old like that. They didn't all have 3 prongs, and we found the nicest ones where I don't have to take the plates off. Watch this face, friends. Love my double chin there. I love that for me. I'm going to show you here what I made the face for. The amount of dust in this light switch. Like, we didn't take it off when we moved in and clean it because we just didn't replace it. And yeah, we probably should have with the amount of dust and fuzz that was in there. So yeah. But as I was saying about the outlets, we bought these new kind that like you screw in the actual like plug and then the cover is just a snap-on. So it was so nice not to have to unscrew stuff because I lost screws to the plate of his light switch. But I mean, I think it was an original one because it's like metal and you saw how it was like crackled and stuff like that. So but those were nice ones, that the outlets that just pop off so you don't have to worry about screws and stuff like that. And of course his door had like screws in the back of it that, again, they were there when we moved in and I just never took them out. It was just something I didn't think about. And so the last thing we're giving a good scrubbing here are his door and his closet doors and the trim around those. And there is filthy dirty walls. So yeah, pretty dirty. That's a year's worth of filth. I am showing you my empty canister there, and I am just vacuuming around the edges before I start vacuuming the carpet. Because I could just tell that there was dirt and stuff. And I believe the people that lived here before used this middle room as an office, like in their later years after all their kids were grown and gone, because it had 2 phone jacks in it. And again, when we moved in, we just didn't bother taking them out. It was just something that wasn't a priority. And so I thought, now that we're redoing the room, we're getting them out of there. So I am just, and they're not connected anymore. Like when the contractor did our basement, he took all of the phone wires out. So these are literally just the jacks. So I'm just unscrewing them from the wall, and a little bit towards the end of the video, I'm gonna like clip them before I clean the carpet. So once I clean the edges here and then start vacuuming the carpet, when I show you the dirt that I picked up, you're gonna say, oh my gosh, that's a lot of dirt and dust. Well, yeah, but what I have to really tell you, friends, is that supposedly when my son moved all of his stuff out, his dresser, his computer desk, his gaming stuff, all that, he vacuumed. And I wish I would have showed you the vacuum canister then, because there was some dust and dirt in it. But if you watch me vacuum, friends, you watch me all the time, I vacuum many different directions in the same spot. I go over it one way, then I'll turn it and go another way. And this is the dirt that I picked up after my son already vacuumed this room. So yeah, it was in desperate need of vacuuming, and I need to get on them better about vacuuming their room more often. Of course, his room has the worst carpet in it, and by worst I mean, as you can see, it has wrinkles in it, and no matter what I try, I can't get them out. But I don't, and as much as I want to take this carpet up, I won't, because he enjoys the carpet. Now, when he goes away to college at the end of this year, I may do that, since he won't be living in the room full time, like he'll just come home for breaks. I may tear the carpet up then and just have the hardwoods with a nice big fluffy rug. But until that, I am leaving the carpet, because he enjoys carpet, and it's not dirty carpet, it's not like tore up, it's still plush and like cushy. Yeah, so there's the dirt, but it just has those wrinkles in it, I think, from people pulling furniture across it. All right, so this was a different day. As you can see, a little sneak peek of the shiplap there in the back. This room took me days and days and weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks now. So that was, like I said, that was the clip that I threw in from a few days ago, showing me just cutting that telephone wire and stuff out. When I go to insert all of my voiceovers into my video, I will figure out the first day I took video in this room and then the last day I took video in this room, and you'll see how long it took me. And I kind of told you that in one of my last videos. I'm just, right now, friends, I am just using spackle to fill all the holes in this room. He had a lot of holes in his room, so I had to do quite a bit of patching. But as I was saying, I kind of explained why it was. Like, this is a very busy time of the year. We're just getting ready to start school. As being part of the football boosters, my husband's the president. I am, of course, then his secretary, but also I have other duties myself that I'm doing for football. I take care of all the media day stuff, all the picture stuff. I'm doing the programs, so I am out selling ads for those. So this is just a very busy time every year. So I was literally like working on this an hour at a time, 2 hours at a time. This day, there were several days that I had to skip. And of course my knee was kind of bothering me, so this just took forever. So it is kind of, there's not a lot of piecemealing together, but like I said, that was just part of one of them where I kind of threw that in where it kind of belonged, like after I had just taken them off the wall. All right, so we have moved on to sanding all of these spackle spots. And as I said, he had a lot of like holes in his walls, like pinholes, where I had taken the curtain rods down when we moved in last year. Of course, right underneath his window there was some type of brace that was screwed into the wall that, you know, when we moved him in here, we just took it off and I didn't do anything with it. And of course, friends, let me explain to you why I have this rag washcloth on my mop, because you know, my knee is bothering me, and at one point when I had gone downstairs because I had to, I forgot to grab a dry mop head for my O-Cedar to dust these walls. So we had to improvise, friends. Just sharing little real life here with you. So that is a washcloth out of the bathroom with a rubber band from my desk. But we made it work, friends. Like we are being very handy, very ingenuitive. We are just working with what we have. It actually worked really good. It got like the dust off the wall, and whenever I use my O-Cedar, I do get some hairs on the wall. I don't know why, but those came off too with that washcloth on my O-Cedar mop. And now we're just using my Dyson to suck up all the drywall dust, spackle dust that I used that fell as I was sanding. And I just been busy talking that I didn't mention earlier. As you can see, his bed is still in this room. Our hall is very narrow here with his room, since it's right in the middle of the hall, and we just couldn't take it out. And it's been taken apart so many times that we have like permanently screwed some of the stuff in. So this bed will never come out of this room until we get ready to get rid of it, because we just can't take it apart. So yes, through all these days, I was having to work around his twin bed. So yeah. All right, so as I was doing research with the paint that he wanted put on the shiplap wall, it is a very cool gray. It's called High Speed Steel. It's by Valspar, and it just was not going to look good with what was on all of our walls here. So just before we bought our house, they had it quote unquote professionally painted, and they did all the walls up here in agreeable gray. I love agreeable gray. It's one of my favorite grays. One of the boys' rooms in our old house was painted that, but it is a warm gray. It has beige undertones, so it's very warm. And in these rooms with all of our honey colored wood, it shows very, very warm, very, very beige. And the High Speed Steel is a very cool gray. So I kind of got a bunch of gray samples, and I literally just did this a few days before I bought the paint, to find a nice cool gray with cool undertones that would match the High Speed Steel better. And I ended up going with Valspar Tempered Gray. Now, when all the walls are painted, you cannot tell that I painted his room. Like when you walk into it now, you cannot tell that I painted this room. But you can see here, as I am edging all the little edges, you can tell the difference between the tempered gray and the agreeable gray, the Sherwin-Williams agreeable gray and the Valspar tempered gray. And you can see that it is as a much cooler gray. And so now when you walk in his room and you see the walls painted with the High Speed Steel and these painted with the tempered gray, it just is so much more cohesive. And I like it. So depending on what gray I go with in my room, I am going to do some darker gray in my room. If it is a cool gray, I may paint my walls this tempered gray also, because I really like it. I like so much more the cool tones than I do warm tones. So I've told you how I don't like to use tape anymore because it just takes forever to line everything, and then I can never pull it off without damaging my paint. So I'm showing you here, this is how slow I go when I paint edges. I go very slow, I do very small strokes, and that's how I just do it without tape, and it works out so well. So like right here is sped up like 500%, but it looks like I'm painting a normal speed. That is how slow I'm going when I'm painting these edges. But I don't have time to do tape anymore. And like I said, I've never been able to take the tape off and not have it rip paint. All right, we're gonna start rolling. And I thought maybe I was only gonna have to do one coat on this wall, but I didn't. I ended up doing 2 coats of the tempered gray. Even though it was gray going on top of gray, it needed the second coat. But of course, I'm only gonna show you the first because this is not a dramatic change, even though you can see how much cooler this gray is than what's already on the wall. But it's definitely not a very dramatic change when you're just doing a second coat. So you're just going to watch me put on first coat. And of course, the rolling always goes so much easier. But I got to tell you what, I need to invest in a extension handle for my roller here, because these rooms up here in the main level are so much taller than our basement walls. So I definitely need to invest in an extension arm before I do my next room. And friends, I gotta tell you, you've probably heard my phone text going off, you've heard the dogs barking, you've probably heard a kid talking, you probably just heard my phone ringing with my husband calling me. It has been such a calamity of noises this morning when I'm trying to do this voiceover. And I got up early, extra early, so that I could do it with no one bothering me, and for some reason, it's even louder today than it is on most days. So I apologize for that, friends, if you're hearing all those background noises. But again, that's just real life, and I don't live in a home that is silent. And you do see that I have a rag right there. I do keep a microfiber cloth, a wet, damp microfiber cloth on me, just in case I do get a little bit on like a window frame or the ceiling. I just wipe it right up as soon as it gets on there, and we're good to go. And as I was saying, he had some bigger, like, damaged holes in his walls. I was so happy with how they turned out. Like, you can't even tell they were there. It just looks like there was no damage at all. All right, friends, we have about 4 minutes left, and it's going to be me shampooing these carpets. So I am just using my Bissell, like, Pro Pet. It's the $98 one from Walmart. I love it for just the little bit of carpet that I have that I need it for. And as you can see, it's very dark. I am like shampooing these carpets at about 11 o'clock at night because that's just when I had time to do it, friends. And if you missed it, go back a few seconds, 30 seconds, and you're gonna see the shiplap wall done, not painted, but done. So friends, I am not using any type of cleaner on this carpet. I am literally just using the hottest tap water that comes out of our spigot, which is about 135, 140 degrees. And you are gonna see how much dirt it picks up in this carpet. And towards the end of the video, I got tired of moving my camera because it was so late and I was so tired that I do about 5 water pours total. So the last 3 are right in a row. I don't even show, I show you like cleaning the carpet like three times, but I do 5 water pours because I got tired of moving my camera. Look at that filthy, dirty water. I mean, but it's been a year, so it's to be expected, right, friends? It's a teenage boy. He wears his shoes in his room even though he's not supposed to. He's in multiple sports, and so just, you know, he's a dirty athlete, and so it's gonna be dirty. But I was so happy how well this carpet looked after I finished scrubbing it. It looked almost brand new. And of course, as you see here to the right, I finally just flipped the bed up to do these carpets, and I just kind of didn't do like about a 6-inch part there at the top, which is where his bed is anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. We have to do what we have to do, friends. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go, but please do not click out of this because there are like 4 more very satisfying dirty water pours and you need to see them. But I'm going to let you go. Thank you for joining me today, friends. Thank you for always clicking on my video and watching it. I really appreciate it. Thank you for always giving me thumbs up. Thank you for always leaving me comments. It just means the world to me. If I could ask you to do one thing before you click out of this video, go ahead and like it, give it a thumbs up. It just lets YouTube know that you enjoyed it and that you think other people out there in internet land would enjoy it. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, why the heck not? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, then that bell notification so you never miss another one of my videos. I'm going to just start releasing every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I would love to have you guys join my community. So until next video, have a great day, friends, and I'll see you later. Bye.